yay that you got hurt.
like
But it was a yay looking back on memories and having a good laugh.
The fireplace is locked shut. Santa dies.
Mummy and Daddy were just wrestling. Child, it looked like you were winning. I'm trying to justify it because there's going to be people that listen and go, nah, never ever lying.
Oh, hello.
Oh no. Hi everyone.
G'day.
Welcome to the Unhelpful Parenting Podcast. That's one way to get us started. It's just not what I was expecting.
No.
He just looked at me just before we started. He was like, how do we start this one?
Hello. That's how we're starting today.
Oh, we have a great episode coming up.
We do.
Once we catch up with our yays or nays from the week. Sam's, I can see you've slotted in your dad jokes again. I can never get away from them. He always puts them in.
That's going to be a thing.
It's always a thing.
It's going to be a thing.
And I can
It
see
is a
there's
thing.
more than one. I used to give you one spot. Now I've just taken it out. And you add 3 in. So anyway.
Yep. I might have a theme. I have a theme today. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
Carry on.
We have a couple of confessions, and then I don't know if your theme is the same as the rest of it.
It is not lies, but we have lies.
Yes, we're talking white lies.
If you're listening in the car with children, we don't lie.
No, Mummy and Daddy are always truthful. Except for when
That's a
we
lie.
pull out some of these little white lies. So yes, you guys sent in heaps. I do put these on social media. So if you're listening and going, where do these come from?
Get on socials,
get on
follow us,
socials and follow us.
Comment. Please.
I am getting better. Sorry, Instagram fam. I am getting better at putting them. Sometimes I forget to put them on the Insta stories. Because it's like a sticker that goes on the Insta stories. It's different to Facebook. I put a post out and everyone comments. So I am getting better at that. I apologize. You can send me messages if you're like, Beck, you didn't let me answer that. Anywho, so yes, we're talking the white lies, and we put out there for little white lies. There's some that are a bit bigger than just little white lies. So It's wonderful. And there's some that backfired. That was bonus points if they backfired. There's a few backfired ones in here too. So I'm super keen for that. But before we get into that,
What's your yay and nay?
Yeah, yay or nay. My nay this week, which is kind of it's not super negative, but I just had a moment yesterday with the baby in the car. We are 2 minutes from home and he is going to sleep. And if you're a parent, most people who listen to parents know that there is nothing more frustrating than the baby falling asleep in the car just before you get home, because then when you get home, they wake up and think they've had a great sleep and don't want to nap anymore. So I am in the car just being like, boo, yeah, don't go to sleep, making all these funny noises. And I'm like, man, I must look like a weirdo to anyone outside of the car, making up songs. I'll have to make a reel.
Of the car too.
I'll have to make a reel out of it because I can't be the only one.
See, I don't do stupid moves. I just go,
yeah, just randomly.
freak him out every
Wow,
once in a
you
while.
just deafened everybody. Peeked out your microphone. Yes, random sounds, random songs, being a weirdo, whatever it takes to keep them awake. So that was my a bit of a nay. It wasn't super neggy, but that's that one. And then
super naggy.
my yay again isn't super happy because it actually results in an injury for you. So not my yay. I don't love when you get hurt, but my yay
Yes,
is
you do.
all the memories and things that pop up. I just social media gets a bad rap for a lot of things, but I do love seeing memories pop up of the things you shared a year ago today, 2 years ago today, especially in baby kid life. You get the memories of your little babies. Well, that sent me on a bit of a journey. I decided, I had the random thought. I was like, let's look back on messages from back then that we were sending each other to see what sort of things we were messaging each other. And so I went back to when I went into labour with Kit, because that was just recently, a year ago today, this month, whatever. And I completely forgot when I was in labour with Kit, I left the Mimco nappy bag on the stairs, and one of the sharp points of the buckle was sticking up, and it went right into Sam's foot. And to the point where if we weren't going to the hospital for me, we probably should have been going for your foot. It was bad, but he had to just suck it up because I was giving birth. Not a yay that
I
you got
just
hurt, but
whacked
it was a yay looking back on memories and having a good laugh.
Put a Band-Aid on and it should be right.
I saw a photo. It was a lot worse than I remember. I think I had zero sympathy for you back then.
Didn't react.
I was in labour. I was having contractions. I was not caring about your foot.
Probably wasn't a good
It would have lodged into, you had to pull it out of your bone. Yeah.
It wasn't in the bone. It was just in the muscle tissue.
Oh. Anyway, so that was my yay, was looking back on memories and having fun laughs like that. Not yay that you got hurt. Sorry, darling. Feel bad for you a little bit there.
No, I want my yay for something that hurt you.
Huh?
Labour. No. Nothing. I didn't say anything.
I missed that.
Good.
Out with it.
My thingamajiggo, my nay was waking up today by the 3-year-old.
3-year-old. I think last week or the week before you talked about waking up to the 5-year-old, so 3-year-old's turn.
He gave me a cuddle.
Cute.
Very cute. Climbed up, gave me a cuddle.
Yeah.
And then wanted to play and punched me in the face.
Morning, Daddy. I love you.
It was great.
Whack.
And then continued to do it because he wanted to play. And apparently
Why aren't you
that's how a
wrestling? You
3-year-old
just woke
boy
up.
wants
Don't
to
you wake
play.
up with all the energy we do, Daddy? No, we don't.
So, yeah, that was, yep.
What's your yay?
No, that was my nay.
Yeah, that was your nay. So what's your yay?
Oh. Wait. I have
you?
two nays.
You've just written down 2 nays, haven't you? All right, negative, Mr. Negative. Hit us with another nay.
Just kids' parties. There's chaos.
Oh, it is.
Like kids, sugar, food.
And there's always one on.
And then it's like toy opening time and all the kids are like, ah, open this one, open this one, open this one, open this one. And it's like just sensory overload.
Yeah. Nothing against the parties themselves. The one we went to on the weekend was actually great. It was a really nice
It was
party.
lovely. But just sensory overload
doesn't-
and then having to be on and watch the kids run around and make sure they're not breaking anything or putting dirty, sticky hands on everything. And
I will say that
just
means
chaos.
a lot of the time now, if it's a party that only one of us needs to go to, I usually end up
yes.
with it. I didn't tell you, but the last one I went to that you didn't come to had champagne, had wine, cheese, everything for the parents. I was like, sucked in, Sam, you're missing out. It was a great one.
If every freaking
I know, if every party had it, you wouldn't mind.
party had it, it would be awesome.
None of ours have ever had it though, so we can't be one to judge and say anything about that.
Nope.
All right, before I take us to the confessional, have your moment.
Joke time. After dinner, my wife asked me if I could clear the table. I needed a running start, but I made it. Here's one to make you feel better. My wife gave birth 3 times and still fits in a prom dress from high school. I gave birth 0 times and I don't even fit into my pants from March.
I wish that was true. It's a great joke, but I really wish that was true.
Yeah.
And it's not the other way around. You've lost a lot of weight since March, and I have too, but
You have 2.
nowhere near dress.
Not pre-birth weight though. Not prom.
No,
not
couldn't
prom dress.
pull out an old dress like that.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Time for confessional.
And thus ends Sam's what your life no. Wow.
And
To the confessional. We better go to the confessional.
confessional.
This week, my kid was that kid. She cut her hair, but not just to play hairdressers. She cut it to stick to a self-portrait with glue. She wanted it to be more realistic. It killed me inside, but I had to give her props for her dedication to her art.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it's so hard.
it's tough.
That just happens. Like we had that with our daughter when I think she was 3. Her grandma was babysat her left and I still didn't notice until I saw hair on the floor.
Oh, that she cut her hair.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, where has this hair come from? And then it like started to dawn on me. And then I was like, Mackenzie. And like, then she looked at me and I was like, you didn't have a fringe before. Like, I didn't even notice. She just.
It was nice. It was actually, look, to her credit.
Poor mum. Like, it was not her fault, but mum felt bad because she was babysitting. I was like, I know how sneaky and how quick they are. So, yeah. At least it was for art.
I mean,
Sake of art.
Realistic.
Creative. That's creative.
Asking for a friend. Does anyone else hit their kid's head on the roof when they put them in the car?
No.
Or is it just me? Oh, you do.
No. I didn't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I don't.
I think everybody does that.
I don't.
As if
don't.
You've never whacked a kid's head on the car. In or out, both count.
Not on the roof. I whack it on the side on the way in. Rarely.
That's the same thing.
Rarely.
It's the same thing.
Once.
No, everyone does it.
You do it every time.
Not every time, but I do notice that the kids wince when I pull them in or out because they're bracing for it.
It doesn't.
I have really bad spatial awareness. I'm like,
Baby doesn't wince for me.
oh well. Yeah, you're not alone if you had to confess to that.
No. That wasn't me confessing, by the way.
I got a call from the school office and immediately panicked. Like, we know that. Well, I don't panic anymore, but...
It's generally the 3-year-old falling over and hitting his head.
And they have to call us. But anyway, I got a call from the school office and immediately panicked. Is my son okay? I asked. Yeah, he's fine, they said. It's just that there's no school today or this week. It's school holidays. Whoops. I'd sent him on his bike thinking break was the next week. Poor kids.
That's pretty funny.
Well, going into white lies from parents, I remember my parents thinking it was absolutely hilarious to do an April Fool's that was on a Saturday. They woke me up, got me ready for school, and I was standing out at the bus stop. And then they were like, April Fool's, there's no school today. And
That's not white lie. That's cruelty.
I remember they thought it was hilarious. I get it now as a parent. I'm like, that actually would be pretty funny. Wasn't funny for me as a kid. So yes, thank you everyone who sent in your white lies because we're going to jump into those because there are quite a few. We didn't need much confessional because most of these are, again, confessional level. I love these stories. Oh my gosh.
White lie confessions.
So talking white lies, obviously the most common one that literally almost every parent does. Not every parent. There are some that are really anti it. But Santa, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, like things that you don't feel too bad about because it's like keeping magic alive and it's about fun. And so every parent has that kind of at some point. I don't think we're not super big on Santa or Easter Bunny or like we let them have their fun, but we kind of treat them like they're TV show characters, like their stories and their whatever. But
parental warning, if your kids are in the car and you do this.
It's probably a bit late for that now.
Yep. Or just come back later.
So we had quite a few come in on this topic though, some that backfired. So one mum sent in, we used to use Santa's list as encouragement for behaviour. For example, you have to be good or else you'll get coal from Santa. One day my kid came back that he wants the coal and will be saving it up for a barbecue. Yeah, once they start doing that, they're getting a bit old for that kind of level
Isn't coal hard pressed to diamond too?
Yeah. Oh, look at you go. You were that kid, weren't you?
I told my kids that broccoli and cauliflower were mini Christmas trees, and if they don't eat them, Santa won't visit at the end of the year. They are still the two vegetables they all eat to this day over 20 years later. When they were old enough to work it out, they weren't upset and thought it was clever.
I mean,
lucky.
If you're going to go into white lie territory to like doing
what
it.
sort of Christmas trees do you get?
They're just little, well, they're the closest thing out of all the vegetables, except for maybe asparagus, but who eats that? Me, actually, I love asparagus.
It's disgusting.
But I appreciate that it's a lesser known, lesser loved vegetable.
Honestly, if you're going to do that, just turn a carrot upside down, like paint it green.
But if you're going to tell a white lie, at least it's for getting them to eat vegetables, and it's not like that's not a huge. Some of these that are coming, stay tuned. Some of these kids are going to have ended up in therapy. which
Yeah.
I mean, they all do.
Carry on.
My daughter was 8 years old and her tooth fell out and it fell down the drain into the bathroom. She ran into the lounge all upset because she thought the tooth fairy wouldn't be able to give her money. So I told her that the tooth fairy can shrink herself down and she can go into the drain and get the tooth. Crisis averted. But then my other daughter was 6 years old. We forgot to put the money in the cup. So I told her that the tooth fairy had a bad headache and had rung us to say that she'll put the money in the cup tomorrow. Yeah. The tooth fairy white lies. The things you do to keep it going. Things you do to keep it going. It's like, oops, I forgot. Oops, yep, that doesn't work. Yep. That's like the kids that freak out that Santa can't come down the chimney because they don't have a chimney. And you just have to get creative with your magic.
Or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think our kids get one present from Santa, like so that it's like the story. But I think they know that it's
Well,
from us.
in Australia, no one talks about a chimney because no one has a chimney.
Yeah, they do.
No, they have a fireplace. It's not a freaking chimney.
Yeah, okay. Well, we had an Easter one too.
Literally, if you do that, Santa's going to go down the fireplace. The fireplace is locked shut. Santa dies. So
Gosh.
let's not do that and let's
not
just run
kill
with
Santa.
the no chimney.
Well, let's go to Easter.
I used to tell my kids that I would help them find their leftover chocolate Easter eggs that I had already eaten. This feels familiar.
Funny that. It's anonymous.
But it's from my mum.
Which you cannot be angry at her for anymore because we've done that to our children. We eat their chocolate once they get to near the end and it's like, no, you've had enough chocolate. One white lie my mum used to always tell me was that McDonald's missed a chicken nugget in my Happy Meal. It happened a lot and I grew up thinking McDonald's were terrible with their orders and got it wrong almost every single time until I was an adult and realised that missing meant mum had eaten it. Mum tax. Oh, sorry, baby, there's only 5 instead of 6. They must have miscounted.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
I've got one. If I didn't want to share my lollies with my son, I'd say they were spicy.
Look, I try really hard not to lie to our kids, but I can't say I haven't said that before, just to avoid a tantrum and not share my food.
Just have the lollies, but have like some sour warheads on standby. So if they ask for a lolly, you give them a warhead. Not lying.
Actually, I will say...
And they'll go and not eat them ever again.
I will say Mackenzie had such a negative experience the first time having sparkling water that now she won't even touch soft drink. Like she sees the bubbles and she won't touch it. And I'm like, I know that you would love lemonade, but it is well and truly okay with me that you don't think you'll like it.
That's awesome.
Talking about lollies, my child on her way to school used her lunch money in the morning to buy lollies at the shop that she had to go past. When she got home, I said, I am all knowing and know that she had bought her lollies instead of lunch. She was perplexed and so confused how I knew that. I didn't let on that my next door neighbour just happened to be at the shops and saw her and told me about it. I got away with that one. The all-knowing
Sniggy. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember just the phrase in our car, Dad saying once Mum had eyes in the back of her head and like staring through the car seat, like because the car seat had like one of those holes in the headrest and like staring through, like just trying to work out if he was being serious and being like, where's her eyes? I think it's a thing as you become a mum, you realise that your parents were just smart because they know you and they know what you're doing. The amount of times I've caught Mackenzie in the middle of doing something, she's like, how did you, like you just see her be like so confused. How did I know to come check at that moment? It's like, I know. We know.
Because you're a cheeky little rat bag.
You went quiet.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I got one for reverse psychology.
Ooh.
Actually, I got 2. I told my kids that they clicked their tongue in their sleep so that when they'd pretend to be asleep, they'd be making a clicking sound and I'd know they're awake.
Oh, that's smart.
That's clever.
That is very clever.
Our kids grind their teeth so we know they're asleep.
That sound is awful.
Oh, it's feral. They probably need to go to the dentist, but we won't go there. I told my kids that when they lied, their ears turned red, so they used to cover their ears whenever they'd fib.
That's really cute.
Pretty good.
That is really cute.
I like that.
There was like a couple like that of people being like, oh, I tell them like just different things, like, oh, if they lie, their fingernails change colour, or yeah.
I like that.
Very cute.
I like that.
That's like doesn't hurt them. It helps you with your parenting. I'm trying to justify it because there's going to be people that listen and go, nah, never ever lying. But I just feel like it happens because I'm the same. I set out never ever lie, but it happens. Really common ones, that it's illegal to have the interior car light on while driving, which we've talked about on an episode before. We've like had that revelation of, oh my gosh, it's not actually illegal. Like it is not a crime. Who knew? I was today years old. It's just distracting. And so most parents say it you say it. I've heard you say it to stop them from playing with the light. I
don't tell them it's illegal. I just tell them to turn it off.
The other common one is the cover up when the kids walked in the bedroom. So someone sent in, me, mummy and daddy were just wrestling. Child, it looked like you were winning.
Damn straight daddy wins.
So long as mummy wins too, we're all good.
On to the backfire.
Oh, this one did backfire.
I joke a lot with my kids, and I jokingly told my 7-year-old that his absent father was actually a bear. And one day when he grew up, he turned into a bear and have to go live in the woods. I didn't factor in that he wouldn't understand the absurdity of it. It wasn't until a year later when we were playing and he stopped and looked me in the eyes and said he was going to miss me when he turns into a bear that I realised I stuffed up. I felt bad, but also it was kind of funny and he was so cute. I thought it was going to backfire in the way of like he watched a hunting video and was like,
no, that backfired in the way that he spent a year processing that he is going to turn into an animal and have to leave his home. You have to be so careful joking with your kid. This is not the first time we've had a joke backfire on the podcast. We've had like the one of the mum that jokingly said she wouldn't pick up her kid from cross country if they didn't win, like full joking, full like ha ha ha, but the kid just didn't pick up on it.
But then
stole a ribbon to come home.
But then the next year won.
Yeah, I love that story.
So
that's in one of the very much earlier episodes. I'll tag it into the description if you want to go back and listen to that. But yes, that's trauma level. But also funny because it wasn't intentional, so we feel you. This one backfired in a different way. We were living right on the edge of our budget and had 2 kids. My husband had a friend who worked at the same place, but his job paid slightly more. He had 3 kids, but they were the type that spent all of their money they had on the high life parties and had no money left, which was really grating for us to see. Then they started arriving at our house around 5 p.m. for playtime. The first time we had them stay and my husband cooked sausages on the barbecue to be nice. Then they arrived again the next night, same thing, we fed them. The next night was a Friday night and I told my husband and kids that we just could not keep feeding 5 extra people and prepared them all that I was going to tell a white lie. So when they arrived, I told this couple that we had promised to buy our kids takeaway food and would they also like to buy themselves takeaway food and eat together? Smart. They said no and left. My kids then turned around and said, you know, it wouldn't be a lie if you bought us takeaway food. And because it was a small town, someone would notice us buying the food and then they wouldn't know that we're lying. Yeah, that kind of backfired because they heard you lie and now they've got you wrapped around.
I mean, you could say no, get stuffed, little kid, but also.
Yeah, it's a time to model for your kids. Yeah. It's a smart way to get like to break that cycle of turning up. Like,
just tell them to get stuffed.
I'm surprised by people who just turn up at other people's houses. Like, rude. To me, that's the main rude part is just to turn up. But
I just shut the door and be like, sorry, no one's home.
Like we say we have open door policy. And of course we do if any of our friends are in need or they just need somewhere, but that's like emergency need, not like, hey, let's just have a play date. Like if one of our friends just turned up, I'd be like, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Not a play date. That's obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a tricky one.
Not really. Just tell them to go away. My dad told me boogers would make my hair grow on my tongue, and I believed him for so many years, longer than I should have. And it wasn't until I mentioned it in a casual conversation with other people that I found out it wasn't true.
Oh, that's from the kid perspective. We should have put more out there. Like we should have put out there to send them in if you got the white lies you got told, because.
I
That's
can't
really
even
funny.
remember any. I know I would have gotten them, but I can't remember
Yeah,
any.
most of these are charged by like parents trying to get their kids to do the right thing, and a lot of the time we know what it feels like to be a desperate parent on like the edge
the
of.
other half are charged by I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
So I need to make an excuse.
We know all of those feelings. So zero judgment from us.
Nice.
Thank you. And like all the laughs, we love them. Thank you for sending them in. And if you've got stories, make sure you send them in. It can be on that. Any funny stories, the confessional is always open. We love hearing your confessions, your fails,
What's
the
next?
backfired things. So yes, next week we are doing creepy things. What's the creepiest thing your kid has done or said or, oh my, like they're already coming in because I put it out before we started recording this. They're already coming in and I'm like, wow, I did not know what I was asking for. So
I see all the notifications pop up and I don't read them. So
yeah, I know. That's because we like to surprise you in the episode. So make sure you send yours in. Put it in the comments right now, either on Spotify or on YouTube or wherever you are. Just send us a message. Send it in. Like this video, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you're listening because we are everywhere. Follow us and share this with your mum and dad friends because that's how.
share it.
Yeah.
With anyone. It doesn't have to be mum and dad friends.
Yeah. But they're the ones that are most likely going to relate and appreciate it. But yes, anyone who likes to laugh, come laugh with us. Everyone's welcome and we will see you next week.